Hey guys, thank you for tuning on into today's video. I'm super excited to have you if you're new. Hi, if you're not new, hey, what's up, what's good? Thank you for coming on back. I appreciate the support, so thank you for checking out today's video. Earlier this week, I did a swatch and demo for the new BH Cosmetics palette. I did say in that video and in a few other videos that I would be looking at the Anastasia Prism palette, so I do have it. I've had it for a while. I'm just now getting around to doing a video. I have done a few looks with this, so we're basically going to do the same thing. I will do a few swatches and then I will do an eye look for work. So I've got my handy dandy phone here. I'm going to pull up some information. In the meantime, do not forget this. So I've got my phone here. I'm going to read a little bit about the palette before we jump in. But in the meantime, with all of my videos, I do have to give the spiel. Do not forget to give this a big thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Don't forget to share it with friends and family or other people that are into makeup or love product reviews. The more engagement we have around my videos, it lets YouTube know that you guys like them, and so it makes it easier for other people to find them as well. I do have a little watermark down below, that pink YouTube icon. It makes it easier to subscribe, so if you click that, I think the subscribe button actually just pops up, which is kind of nice. So don't forget to check that out. And if you ever have any questions, drop me a comment down below. Alrighty, so let's talk a little bit about this palette. It just says new on Sephora's website, so I'm not sure. Oh, JK, it's limited edition. It's $42. You can buy it at Ulta. You can buy it on the brand website, of course. I got mine from Sephora. This is for their holiday collection, so it says it is a luxe holiday eyeshadow collection with 14 shades of universal neutrals and prismatic metallics. So that's enough about that. I was like, I'm not going to read anymore. Reading aloud is not my main skill, but this is what it looks like. With the last few palettes that have come out, it is this kind of velvety packaging, which does get dirty very easily. Just picking some lint off. So this is already dirty, and it's just sitting inside of my makeup collection, so that's a little kind of eh. And then here are the shades. So this is, like it said, the description, it is a neutral palette, but it does have pops of color, which I do enjoy. And then there are a few duochrome shades, which is kind of the thing now. Everyone's putting at least one duochrome in their palette. And then there's a brush, which I've already removed. It's a dual-ended brush, so it's got a shader and it's got like a flat side so you can press the eyeshadow onto it. So I have been playing around with it. I do own a few Anastasia palettes. I own the Modern Renaissance, I own the Master Mario, I own the Subculture, and now this one. So I am somewhat familiar with the overall range. It is a great palette. I personally hate the front. I think this is pretty stupid. It just feels like kind of a miss from a packaging perspective, but the shades are really pretty. I actually got this palette for one color, and I'm really bad about doing that. I will spend all this money for like one little thing when I could probably find a dupe in another product, but the shade Laura right here, when I saw it, I was like, oh, I need to have it, and I don't even think it's that like uncommon of a shade. I'm sure the Modern Renaissance has a similar one, but yeah, that's why I picked it up. The shadows blend very nicely overall. With some of these metallic shades, of course they go on better with your finger. They don't go on super terribly with a brush, but you definitely need to lay down some glue of some sort just to make sure the colors really pop. And I think overall, I'll do some swatches while I talk. I think overall, the metallics are a little scratchy, which I don't enjoy. So I'll give you 3 of those. See this one, this blue one, what is it? Osiris, like, doesn't really show up at all. So that's what these look like. Try and get a good swatch. So I think with swatches to keep in mind, where I place my finger down is kind of like if you pat it on the eye, that's what you're gonna get. And as you drag it across, it's a little bit more similar to a brush swatch. So pigmented, but still a little patchy. I have my little color switch here, so I'm going to wipe that off, and then I will pick 3 other shades. So I will swatch Lure, I'll swatch Obsidian, that kind of black shade, and then I will swatch Saturn. So that's what those 3 look like, and then I will put them kind of right here. So there's 1, there's 2, there's 3. Kind of swatch that bad. They're on there somewhere. So that's what the 3 shades look like. I mean, overall, it does perform quite nicely on the eye. They do blend out well, but things that swatch kind of not great on the hand doesn't necessarily mean they perform poorly on the eye, and things that swatch great on the hand does not mean they're going to be awesome on your eye as well. So I'll stop talking. I've already primed my eyes with the Smashbox 24-hour photo finish primer, and I will speed through me doing a quick eye look to match my pink top, which will be a challenge, but I will come up with something and then we'll wrap up the video. Kick Up is a lot better than the Subculture palette, which is awesome. Is it my favorite palette out of the bunch? Probably not. When you guys first saw me start out with the look, I went in with Parallel and Lure. There aren't, so this is kind of like, it's a video for another day, but not every palette is designed to necessarily do full looks with, and for me this is definitely that type of palette. There aren't great transition shades just like straight out the gate looking at the palette, but you can kind of mix them because they do blend really well together. You could blend Lure and Parallel together. You can blend Unity and Parallel together. Unity is a little too light for my skin tone on its own, so you can kind of work with it and you can do a full look, but it does take a little bit of thinking, which is not the worst thing. It's probably actually a good thing to get people to think about what they're doing, but it's not as apparent what you can necessarily do with this palette. Quads are an option. Looking in each set of fours, you do have mattes and metallics, so maybe that might be a fun challenge on my Instagram, is to do quad looks with the various palettes that I have. Comment down below if that's something you would be interested in keeping up with, because it wouldn't necessarily be on my channel. I could find a way to do it on my channel. But in any case, for 42 bucks for a limited edition holiday palette that is leaps and bounds better than the Subculture palette, yeah, I think it's worth picking up. Looking at the ingredients, talc is listed first, so if you have sensitivities or don't like products with talc, maybe steer clear of that, and it has a shelf life of 6 months. So that's another drawback with this palette. I don't know over 6 months if I'm really going to get a lot of use out of it, but for a holiday palette, it's not bad. So that is the end of our video, you guys. Thank you for joining on in. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Don't forget to give this a big thumbs up and subscribe. You can click that little pink YouTube button down at the bottom and it will tee it all up for you. So thank you for tuning on in. Have a great rest of the day, and until next time, take care. Bye.